All right, here we go.
Queen and Slim is directed by Matsuo Koyushas and stars Daniel Kaluuya and Jolie Tanner-Smith, and it's a story about two people who are going on a date, and after going home from this date, they get pulled over by a cop. Now they're hunted by the law because of this accident that happened when they got pulled over. Now I was really excited to see this movie. I was recently in the States and this movie was already playing and I wanted to see it, but I didn't have time. So now I did finally get to see it, and I must say I was really kind of disappointed to see. Well, disappointed, it's kind of obvious they don't nominate such a great movies like this, because this is really a great movie. It's a great story, it's an interesting story. The movie has a great message, and what I really like with this movie, it doesn't, it's not one-sided. This movie is not like, ooh, cops are terrible, ooh, like this. They don't hammer it in. They tell it in such a great way that a lot of the things make sense how they play it out from their point of view, and this is based on a true story. Daniel Kaluuya and Jodie Tanner-Smith are really amazing in this movie. Like, all the performances are really phenomenal in this movie. Everybody really does a great job. The directing is really great in this movie. I must really say the cinematography is really great. This movie has such a nice and good cinematography. I was really surprised when I watched this movie. You have nice continuing shots. You don't have, when somebody's talking, you don't have all the time cutting in between, face to face. You have like a long take shot, and then it goes back to normal when people say. It's just, this movie shot is very well. It's very beautiful. It's one of my favorite editings, I would say, for many movies I've seen recently. Like, it's really nice, and really, because of the movie was shot like this, and you have continuing shots and not so many cuts, the story gets you more deeper involved in it. Because when you have like a bunch of cuts, it kind of like snaps you out of it. I think, like, I always feel that when you have like a bunch of jumpy cuts, it kind of takes you out because you always see a new thing. And when you have like a more continuous shot, you can get more invested in the story within the characters. And both of the characters are really interesting. Like I said, they are running from the law, they're on the run of the law. And what I like, this movie never goes over the top. This movie never goes like over the top actiony, or over the top politically. Like, this movie has the right tone of the characters and what the characters deal through, and how they now have to basically figure out their life together, being on the run from the police and being chased by basically everybody, but also at the same time, even though they did this one thing, have this big support from the Black community, who's saying like, yo, I support what you do, you bring faith to the community. And it's kind of like confused to them what you mean. This was a terrible accident. Because of that accident that happened to them and while on the run, it kind of gave Black people in the Black community, like, some hope. Like, we cannot let them do this to us. The characters are very interesting. Like I said, the girl, her backstory is very interesting and plausible. None of the characters really make any like rational or dumb choices, because often when you have like this type of movies, then you kind of feel like, oh, now everything is happy, yeah, no, it's everything terribly sad, oh, no, oh, this and this, it kind of becomes this like so cheesy. And in this movie they don't do it at all. It's so well taught, it's so well acted and so well directed and written, and I was just really amazed. Like, and everything is, and the movie is also hilarious. Like, there's some really funny points throughout the movie really had me laughing, and it really does a fantastic job at balancing out all those plot points and all the story plots and all the tones, because the movie does a great job, when from going from more dramatic route to something comedic, but then back to the dramatic route, and to see the whole how the story goes, without spoiling too much. It's just, I would say this movie is really great, it's fantastic. As far as like negatives go, I don't really have as much. Like, at maybe like one or two moments where I like feel like the pacing is a tiny bit slow, but there's like a one or two moments I had that. The rest of the way, I was invested all the way in. I wanted to know what happened to the characters, and so except from that, but I kind of feel like you don't really notice it that more because you're so invested within the characters and interested in them. So those two little moments that I drag those two little moments that maybe drag a bit, don't feel as heavy-handed as they should. This movie is really great. Like I said, I can't give this movie enough praise. I'm really sad, basically, that sad that this movie didn't get nominated, because it came out in 2019, but now here in 2020 came out by us. So I was like, this movie was should have been nominated for best editing, best writing, and directing. I mean, they had no female directors in they had no female directors this year, and she definitely should have been nominated, Melina Matsuko. Sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, but she really does such a great job of directing and with the tones and the cinematography. And the movie also looks beautiful. Like the shots, you have beautiful wide shots. You know what I like? You don't have no like really extreme close-up shots. You have nice shots, but even in those wide shots, you know, because some people do like make those wide shots to like, you know, give you more room to breathe. But even you have those wide shots, you still feel a lot of tension, and there's like a lot of stuff going on, you know, when they go on their journey. And also like this movie also has like, you know, moments that are not so much heavy-handed. Like it's not drama throughout the whole thing. It also has moments, you know, where they're more happier moments, but it's done in such a good way that it doesn't seem cheesy, you know, like I said before, ooh, happy. I really think that's really such a great job. So I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10. I can really not recommend this movie enough to you. Go see Queen and Slim. It's a really fantastic movie. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. If I haven't seen it 2019, it would have been #1 on my top 10 list. But I unfortunately didn't get a chance to see it. That's why it's not on my top 10 list. But I would put it on #1 for my top 10 list. Yeah, so please go watch the movie. I really recommend it. It's a fun time. The music is also really great in this movie. And it's just a lot of fun and a really great story with a really great message. So thanks everybody for watching. And as always, see you next time.
Cut!